Well, narcissists can never be satisfied. They are miserable people, except for like the first 6 months of a relationship, because that's when you're their new shiny toy and everything is exciting and idealized. So let's say you're together for like 2 or 3 years. Over that course of time, they're gonna, they're good in the beginning, but they're gonna slowly revert back to being dissatisfied and miserable within themselves. But the problem is that that process happened while you two were together and in a relationship. So because they don't have the ability to look inward and recognize that it's their own problems that are causing their misery, they think that it's you causing them to feel that way. As obvious as it sounds to us that it's them and it's their fault, because any normal person knows you're in charge of your own happiness, they genuinely believe that you're the problem. They don't have the ability to look inward like that. The way they think about it is they look back and they say, okay, let's say you're together for 2 years. They say, well, a year and a half ago I was doing great, but now over the past year and a half, I've just slowly gone back to, being unsatisfied. Well, I was with this person over this last year and a half, so it's got to be their fault. It must be because I'm with them that I'm so miserable right now. That's why they're always cycling through new partners, is because they'll get with someone, they'll go through that honeymoon phase where it's, everything's idealized and it's all great, and they go back to being miserable, then they blame that person, then they just move on to the next supply line and go and keep doing that their whole life and blaming everyone else but themselves. And that's kind of the curse of being a narcissist, is like the inability to grow, because they cannot learn from their mistakes, and they just are always going to be blaming everyone else. When it comes to being happy, like I said, anyone knows that being happy is your own responsibility. So they're incapable of ever being happy because they aren't able to look at themselves and realize that they're in charge of that. And they'll just forever look for it in other people. And the other thing is that people with BPD also do the same thing, except they do it more with their identity. People with BPD do not have a strong sense of identity, or they're always cycling through identities every couple of years. So if you get with someone with BPD and they go through that identity crisis, every 2 years, let's say, well, while they're going through that identity crisis, because they were with you for that time period, they think that it's you causing them to not know who they really are, and it must be the way they're treating me, they must be isolating me, but it's actually them, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to move on to the next person. They're going to find out that the next person isn't going to provide them any identity either, and they're going to go through that cycle, being stuck, not realizing that it's their responsibility.